leave it. He doesn't put stuff up as I go.
That's what I asked.
Yes.
You just said no. I was putting the flag up. I like the flag being up.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. Good whatever today is at the point of day that it is for you. Welcome to Sew Sunday, where I'm going to sew. This time I have no plan. Wait, do I ever? No.
Exactly. Do I ever?
Do I ever have a plan? No. That would be a no. Anyway, let me see who is all here. Real quickly.
That's weird.
Huh?
Commercial. Normally it always starts with commercial.
It did for me.
Oh, mine didn't.
But I have no chat. Aha, there's a chat. We got So Blessed, Dawn, Gloria, Karen, Jackie, Vicky, Brenda, another Karen, John, Ann, Dawn, Mary, and so many more. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, if you remember, I don't know how many years ago, it was probably like 2 years ago, maybe more, I'm not sure. I made a butterfly quilt that we called Country Butterflies. Do you remember that? Okay, well, I remember that because I loved that quilt. Somebody out there has it. Anyways, I'm going to tell you the fabric because it was still in the box. It was Red Rooster Fabrics called Favorite Things by Jerry Robinson of Planted Seed Designs. And it's just these blues and browns. And I had all sorts of leftovers. As you can see here on my desk, I had 3 fat quarters that I didn't even use that were in here. One is this, one is a solid, cream, and one is a cream that has like a floral design on it. And then I had tons of, they're not 2.5, but they're 2.25 inch strips, which were left over from making the butterflies, and they're all different lengths. As well as I had in here, oops, come on. When you move things, it doesn't lay flat anymore. I had the end cutoffs from making squares. I had a couple squares left over. I had the rest of the fat quarters left over after the initial cut. I had the initial straighten it up cut. I have what I used as the accent or borders and stuff along with the borders. Not enough of it though, obviously, just smaller chunks of it. And then I had some more strips that are like 2 and something, and then the cutoffs from the end of the fat quarters from cutting the strips. I had some already, the way I had cut the pieces, I had some half square triangles that just need to be pressed because I had gone back and sewed the other side. And then I have this whole entire stack of all the cutoffs from snowballing all the corners. There's 2 stacks of that have all these, well, 3 stacks technically. Some have with the background fabric and some did not have the background fabric. So I'm going to start with those pieces and I'm going to sew these up. And I prefer, this is just me, because they're small, I don't want to make them into half square triangles. I want it to be a bigger size block. So I prefer to turn these into hourglass blocks. So I'm literally going to turn all this into hourglass blocks. I'm going to separate all the ones with the cream background. This pile does not have background. So this all has the cream color. I'm going to slide all these through to make hourglass. And then I'm going to slide all this through to make hourglass. And then maybe 4 hourglasses together will make the size of this half square triangle or something. And then I can cut off these in half to make more of these half square triangle pieces to match with these. And then use all this to make something else and just make squares. Okay? That's what my idea of just throwing it all on the desk is. But I really I saved my open gate boxes and I just put the leftovers from every project in these. And there's stacks over there. There's stacks over there. I mean, there's even stacks in my other room. I have lots of project leftovers. And I always tell myself, and you guys probably do the same, I'm going to make something with the leftovers. We say it all the time. I'm going to make something with these leftovers real quick. And then there'll be nothing to put away. No, we say it, we don't do it. So I am going to actually do it and sew them.
How many containers of pre-cut fabric of all sizes do you have?
Containers of pre-cut fabric. Well, I have everything you see to the side right there. Then I have a ton of boxes in the other room. Then there's some boxes behind Scott, and then there's some boxes in the closet. I mean, there's boxes everywhere of pre-cuts. And then there's the starts of pre-cuts in the other room, and like a separation bins. And I have every pre-cut, every size, and lots of it, which I could make whatever I want, whenever I want, but I probably should tackle all these open gate boxes filled with, stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start making some hourglass blocks to start. Oh, and I was top stitching stuff. So I barely have a stitch length here. Let's start that over. Oh, that's a good stitch length. Okay. So I slide one in with the point first, and then I slide one in with the opposite color on top and the squared edge. And I just do this over and over again until they're all sewn up. And hopefully it won't take that long with these. Hopefully. Because I still have that whole stack of the knot pieces that don't have the background color singular. It was a cream background, if you remember the quilt.
What is the standard stitch length that you use when creating?
I always piece a quilt, unless it's paper pieced. I always regularly piece with a 2.0 stitch length. That guarantees that my quilt is not going to fall apart by the time I get it to the long arm to quilt it. And then when I'm pulling and tugging and doing all the movement and smoothing things out on the long arm, it doesn't fall apart that way either. Where am I at? One way, the other way, one way. This is upside down. Yeah, I always use a 2.0, and then when I paper piece or anything that has anything to do with paper, I use about 1.5, 1.8, somewhere in there. I don't obviously have those markings on my Juki. My Juki just has a couple numbers, no in-betweeners, so I just guess. But if it was a regular machine, that's about what it would be. I'm hoping I can get something cool out of all this. But it'll still be funky. But that's okay, because guess what? I don't care. As long as it makes a functioning quilt, that's all that matters. And I have a habit of turning all these into hourglass blocks instead of half square triangles. I like it that way. You get a bigger block and, it just makes more sense in my head. What do these not have? Okay, so these don't, how did these get in that pile? I don't know. We'll just place these over there. If I never get all of these ever, because I have a whole thing of them down there that's overflowing, if I never get it all sewn up, I'll probably just throw it all away. Because I'm at that point where I don't want to keep them no more. But I mean, there's so many things you can make with them. You can just hook them into rows. You can hook them into hourglasses. You can make half square triangles. You can make all sorts of stuff with these.
Do you sell your quilts and do you quilt for other people?
I quilt for other people, yes. I do sell my own quilts, yes.
We got more for sale than we know what to do with.
Yep, I have more for sale than I'd ever know what to do with. I have more for sale than I have family members, even if I was to give it to family members. My family don't want any more quilts. We live in Arizona. We don't even use them. I mean, I have my own quilts. I have tons of my own quilts. And guess what I don't use until it's winter time? No quilts. I don't even sleep with a sheet on. Because, well, it's just too hot to do that.
We got way more than what's listed on Etsy, too.
Yeah, I have way more quilts than what are listed on Etsy. I wish I had a different audience to sell the quilts to, but I don't. So that's why I have so many. And I make a lot of videos. So there's another reason why I have so many. I'm literally making another one now. Because why not? Even though I keep telling myself I gotta just do all these projects instead of making, get all that stuff in the closet quilted up, but I don't have enough supplies to quilt up everything in the closet, let alone the space to put them all. And it fits in the closet better than anything, so I guess this is where it's gonna stay until I get a chance to quilt them. I get in these modes where I feel like quilting, and then some days I don't want to quilt at all. I just quilted like 3 days ago, and it was the first time I had quilted in over 2 weeks of using the long arm because I had nothing, no client quilts or anything. It's rare I get really busy in the summertime, so. But I had all that time. I could have just done my own, but have nowhere to put them. Plus, I was making videos and stuff too, so that's why I haven't got any long arming done. If you guys hadn't watched my video I uploaded on Thursday of me making my Halloween leftovers quilt, because guess what? I had all these same pieces left over, and I had pre-sewn them in like, months and months ago, and they were just sitting in a pile that I kept moving from one place to the other in the room. So I finally decided to sew them into something.
What are you sewing right now?
Right now I'm sewing hourglasses from scraps that were left over from my butterfly quilt. I'm just making something up because that's what I do best, is make stuff up. Of course, I will have to trim all this because I'm not gonna not trim it.
You gotta get the dog ears again?
No, I'm gonna trim it as in square the whole block up.
Tell him what I got to help you do the other day.
Yeah, in the video, what? Oh, picking on the long arm. Yeah, he got to help me pick on the long arm because my tension went away. He's not very excited about picking, but it has to be done every now and then.
I help whenever you need help.
Funny thing is, you guys want to hear this? So owning a long arm is sometimes could be challenging. And every now and then challenges come up. So I quilted a couple things, and then I went to load another thread, another bobbin with a different color on a different quilt. And as soon as I start quilting, the tension goes, how? It's the same brand of thread, same weight of thread, rolled the same on the same bobbin winder. It's all the same, right? But the goes funky. So we picked all that out, and then after it was all picked, we get it all picked out, and I go to quilt again after playing with the tension on a side thing. I test the tension. I get the tension good, or what it seems to be good, and then I go to quilt on the quilt again, and guess what? Tension's off. So I picked, this time he came to help me pick it out the second time. So then I decided, well, screw it. I'll change thread colors. Everything's normal, right? I put the new thread color on, same brand, same weight of thread. And guess what? No tension issues. Perfect. Absolutely perfect tension. Can you explain that one? Because, So I have this theory going on because we have another spool that did this. Is I have a green spool. It's called Christmas Pine. All the spools are clockwise when they come off. They come off the thing clockwise, right? The Christmas Pine comes off counterclockwise off the spool. And I'm starting to think that the color Raven comes off counterclockwise too. So I have to obviously I haven't tested anything yet. I just got the quilt done, because I needed it done. But when I get a chance, I'm going to go and pull out that color and I'm going to see, is it going counterclockwise? Because that would be why the tension is messing it. So then I have to write on it because that's what I did on Christmas Pine. I have to write on it that it comes off counterclockwise and to pre-adjust the tension. So I wrote on the top of the spool. I have a King Quilter Elite 2 Special Edition. The special edition part means I have a bigger screen. I have a 7-inch tablet, which half the time doesn't even work with it. So, But Scott put the link in because they have new tablets and new stuff now. Mine is pretty old. I've had my machine forever. I'm on my 3rd tablet and handlebars since having it, but they've pretty much changed the design since. So I guess that's a plus. Uh-oh, am I going to have an odd amount left? Let's see. Or is it an equal amount? It seems equal. Oops, this one goes with this. Yep, it's an equal amount left. Perfect. And then I'm going to pair these together. Every 2 I snip apart because every 2 goes together. This is the part where I feel like I go silent because I'm trying to make sure I'm only grabbing 2 pieces every time I do this. Now, finger press and sew. Press towards dark, press towards dark. Right sides together and sew. And then I get like about 2 1/4 inch at the moment hourglass from these cutoffs. Unless these were 2 1/4, then it would be about 2 inches. Somewhere in that range. This part takes a bit because I have to finger press instead of pressing at the iron. But I eventually get it done.
When piecing a quilt, do you only use cotton thread?
When piecing a quilt, do I only use cotton thread? Yes, unless it's needing a color of thread that I don't have in cotton. But all of my thread is cotton for piecing. I do have all sorts of other threads so that I'm like, if I've had to top stitch something or, like I'm, sit down free motion, which I really never do, but when I do, or when I top quilt something, sit down, then I have all sorts of other thread colors I could choose from to match. Some are not quite cotton and some are cotton. And then I have polyester for my serger, a thread for my serger, although I bought a bunch of thread for it and I still have yet to have to change the current thread on there because I don't use the machine enough. You can piece with whatever thread you want. I wouldn't recommend like silk thread or rayon or something, like actual embroidery thread. I wouldn't really recommend that for piecing, but you can use whatever you want. You can use polyester if you want, though. Maxine is good. Like I've said before, she's cancer free at the moment. She does have to get checked for the next 5 years, which is what they call remission. And that's about all I know. She's good. She went back to work, I think yesterday was the day or the day before, one of those days. She's just doing light work for now, though. But either way, it's work. She wants to be back at work. She was getting really bored being at home. And then before the live, I had to message my other daughter, Alexa, because she's in Kansas, and right now there's tornado warnings all over all the counties in the state. So I made sure that she's not in an area that's getting the tornado warnings. And she hasn't had anything yet, just thunderstorms. So she's watching her, phone for updates. Plus, she can hear it. She says she's not far from the tornado sirens. She said it's just lots of thunder and lightning outside.
Lightning is pretty.
Yep, lightning is nice. Thunder sounds amazing. Here, when that lightning and thunders, it rattles all the windows in the house during the thunder. Especially during monsoon season, it'll crack right above our heads, the crack of the thunder. And let me tell you, it'll startle you. It'll startle a cat. It'll startle a dog. It will startle you. And if you're outside during it, when the lightning strikes, like I have been before, standing on the ground and it has struck close to me, your hair will stand up on ends. It's pretty awesome feeling like the electricity running through your body and your hair standing on end. It's happened now 3 times in the last like 13 years of living in this house, standing on the back patio, or out by where my pool used to be. When the lightning struck a yard near mine and the voltage just comes through the ground. Cyrus was out with one of them with me, and he was like, wow, this is awesome. We used to swim during the thunderstorms. He was my danger child. A birthday in the chat.
Yes,
Claudia. Happy birthday, Claudia.
You are going to
Oh, yeah, I have her quilt here to quilt when I get a chance.
For her birthday.
I'm not gonna quilt in the words happy birthday though. No, she wouldn't want that. You guys tell me in the chat, and I always, as if I see it, because sometimes I don't see it, but if you guys tell me, then you can get a out loud birthday shout out. I don't always see the chat, so I have it on usually near me, but that's usually I check it to make sure that to reread a comment if I don't understand the way Scott has read it out from the way it was written, so I have to look sometimes. Or to make sure that whatever I'm showing on the screen is literally on the screen. Of course, I really don't have much to show today because I'm just sewing this and it's repetitive. As soon as I get something made up of this. probably going to take me a few videos of whatever it is I'm doing. I may or may not work it on it off camera because the faster I get it done, the faster I can move on to another box of junk. Not really junk, but I definitely enjoy creating off the scraps from previous projects. Everybody having a good weekend?
Tell them what you did yesterday.
What did I do yesterday? Oh,
We went to the
yesterday
veteran
we went
thing.
to the veteran thing
At the aquatic
at
center.
the
and got
aquatic
some
center.
food.
So every year we get invited because Scott's a veteran, and we get invited
Well, it was
to a
all the
Veterans
veterans in
Day.
town.
Yeah, a lot of the veterans in town show up. We go to this veterans thing. It's like a barbecue at the aquatic center, and usually it's a full live band, but the judge just played by himself this time. It was kind of usually happens in July, but this time they did it yesterday in April, like weird. So we went, lots of people, had good food. I ate 3 hot dogs, not with the bun. I only ate one with a bun, the other 2 without a bun because I can only have so much bread. Then you like don't want to eat no more kind of thing. But they had hot dogs, hamburgers, fried rice, baked beans, potato salad, all sorts of stuff. And then cookies and cake. We don't stay for the cake or anything because we don't eat that much sweets, especially cake. It's rare I eat cake, and when I do, it's just one piece. Yeah, we had fun. Me and Scott were playing. So they get for the children, because people bring their kids. It's like a family day. They get those big, huge, giant blow up things where you can climb this and slide down that and wander through this for children. Well, they also have these blow up throw axe things that are what is the word for it? Velcro. They're Velcro, and you throw the axe things. Surprisingly, they're kind of hard. Scott and I found the secret to making it land, though. Instead of throwing the axe like this and hopes that it sticks, because it usually didn't, Scott started throwing it like this sideways, and guess what? It sticks. So we started throwing sideways, and it was sticking every time, except for one of the axes because the Velcro was out on it. The Velcro was bad on it, but we figured out the secret. You got to throw them sideways. So we were playing axe throwing, and then little kids were coming up, and we were giving them the axe so that they can throw too, while we were there. It was kind of cute. But yeah, we had fun. We usually don't play any of the games or anything. I got some notepads from some of the booths because they have booths of, like healthcare and vet stuff and, like the suicide prevention, booth and all that stuff, things that are for vets. So I got some notepads and a pen, and I don't even know where I put it, still in the bag. But one of the pen has a little guy with
I'll go get it. Show it.
funky hair. It's actually cute. I was like, hey, I won't lose my pen at the long arm anymore if it has this on it. So I got it for the long arm and the notepads because I use them at the long arm. Because when like a client calls or whatever, I write down their information on the notepad, So I have like lots of notepads. Well, I had lots of notepads. I finally used them all up. So I grabbed myself some notepads. But here's my pen. Scott's going to hold it up. He has funky hair. And I made sure to grab me a pin so that I can find it at the long arm, because I always lose them. So, I mean, they have stuff, you can get like stress balls to squeeze or bracelets or, I got a keychain.
Oh, they have shirts.
And they have shirts and hats and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Bibles.
Bibles. We got a Bible, yep. For when we travel. Yeah, they have all sorts of stuff. You can get information like for all of the types of things that are offered to veterans in the area, pretty cool. Plus a barbecue and live music.
Plus, it was free swimming if you had kids.
Plus, if you
'cause
had
was at
kids,
the
it was
aquatic
free
center.
swimming at the aquatic center. But I don't like to go on the aquatic center side of the aquatic center because the smell of chlorine makes me feel gaggy sick. So I don't go on there. I don't like heavy chlorine smells. So I don't swim there, but it was free swimming if you had kids or grandkids with you. You could have took them over to swim, which was cool. So that's what we did yesterday. But it didn't help my body today. I woke up sick to my stomach and slept all day, literally. And I'm still like really fatigued too, with a tummy ache. So I only had soup for dinner. But that's okay. It'll ease up by tomorrow. Usually does. It's just because I ate things that aren't on my normal menu of, what I eat normally.
You rubbed your back and feet all day.
Yep, Scott rubbed my back and feet all day to calm me because, it hits the nerves. I don't know about you guys, but it's the weirdest thing. If you rub my feet, it makes my stomach gurgle and move. So he'll rub my feet and you'll just hear, you'll hear that sound constantly through my gut. And especially with back rubs too. So he massaged me to ease it.
What size squares do you start with to make 14-inch hourglass blocks?
What size squares do you start with to make 14-inch hourglass? 14-inch hourglass. I can't.
7, 6.5.
No, 14 right here. You would start with. You're going to be taking a seam, so you would start with 8-inch. Well, no, depends on how you're making it. You can do a 15-inch square, two 15-inch squares, sew on both sides of your drawn line, split it in half, then take a different set of 15-inch squares, from two different other piles, and then put those two together, right sides together, line up your center seam, which is the same with any hourglass, and then sew on both sides of that drawn line, and you should get a 14-inch. Maybe you have to start with 15 and a half. Yeah, because you're taking that seam and then a second time to make 14 and a half. Yeah, so you would need to start with 15 and a half inches. And then when it's sewn into your project, it'll finish at 14. So yeah, you can do it that way. Or you can do it where you cut a bunch of squares and then pre-cut the half triangles out. And I would say do that at 8.5 inches. 9 maybe. No, I'd say 8.5-inch squares. They do have if you Google hourglass charts, you can get a bunch of different size of what you need to cut for hourglasses instead of just kind of coming up with it on the go. They have all sorts of charts. They have flying geese charts, they have hourglass charts, they have regular half square triangles charts. They have the 8 at a time and 16 at a time half square triangle charts of, say you want to make 16 half square triangles at a time. They have a chart what size you would cut that original if you want to end with, say, 3-inch squares. So if you just Google, quilting charts or half square triangle charts or whatever, you can get all sorts of charts, and you just click on those pictures and download them to your device or save them to your computer or whatever, and you always have them to turn to. I don't use them anymore. I did have a bunch on my phone, but I've emptied my phone several times since then. But they are on one of my computer drives somewhere. And there's always new charts. They're not always the same. All right, I'm going to send these off to Scott to be clipped and pressed because now they are hourglass blocks. So I'm going to send them to him to clip and press this whole stack. That way I can move on to the next.
I'm ironing.
Yep. I thought I would be further. All right, I'm going to sew these. Actually, you know what I could do with these? I'm thinking right now. I could take these and make square in a squares. Let's see, what size square do I need? Let me put this on here. I think that might be better with these ones. I'm going to measure real quick to see what size square I need. There, cross that over there, that would be a half. Cross that over there, that would be a half. And cross this over here. See, I change my mind a lot when I'm using my scraps. Grab a ruler, and I need a 2 1/2 inch square. So I need to start with 2 1/2 inch squares, and guess what? I have these, so I can make a bunch of 2 1/2 inch squares off of this, and then all this can go around these. But I do need to trim them first. I do need to move all this junk out of my way to do that. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. So I can have all sorts of different style blocks. How about that? That's smart, right? 1, 2.
Yeah,
oh, they already are 2 1/2. Is this one already 2 1/2 also? It is. So I just need to, can you straighten this, please? They're kind of crinkled. I'm going to cut them.
What do you mean straighten them? You want me to iron them?
Yeah, iron them because they've been in a box for a very long time. I'll just start with this one and cut 2 1/2 inch squares. Let's make sure that that works. Well, it might be 2 1/4 instead, but we'll start with a 2 1/2 and see.
Which one am I ironing these?
Nope. As long as they're flat.
Okay.
All right, I'm just gonna finger press real quick so I could make sure that 2 1/2 will work. Cut off these dog ears. Let's 2 more. Oh yeah, that works perfect. As long as I keep that 1/4 inch on the whole entire thing. Will you press this flat real quick?
You're giving me 10 things to iron at once, Tiffy. Squares?
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Trim off the dog ears. Then I have myself a square in a square. That is 3 1/4 inches. Like that.
Square and a square. It's a little teeny tiny square. Look at that thing.
Yeah, it's small.
It's cute.
Okay. Let's make all these ones. I just have to pull these out because there's some halves, the pieces that are that. Ooh. I'm just going to slide all these through. See how I changed my mind, but it works out for the good. You know. You don't have to be set on one thing when working with scraps. You can do all sorts of different stuff. Huh? Yep, you can change your mind a million times. And since I have the scraps, I might as well use them. I'm only doing a few at a time because he's still ironing other stuff instead of the squares for me to cut.
What do you mean? I got a whole ton of squares.
The rectangles that I was using. The long pieces that I gave you.
These. Right there.
No, this stuff. The long pieces.
You gave me these first. What do you want done? That's why I said make your mind up. You have to tell me what you want done. You wanted me to iron and cut these things.
No, you don't need to cut them. I'm going to cut them.
You said you wanted me to cut the dog ears off.
No, I'm going to cut them because I'm going to trim the whole block. So there's no need to cut dog ears.
Well, I didn't get there yet. So there. Yep, once and say I need this all done. I don't know. All this, that stuff could have been ironed before we started. See?
Well, I didn't know that it was wrinkly.
Don't be a goofy.
Oh, come on. Finger press them and then add the other side. Just going to go ahead and cut the dog ears off now.
I don't have a support to do that. Are you sure?
I'm on that next step with these. So no, you can't do it.
Okay, well here, all your strips.
Thank you.
On top of all the other things you wanted me to iron right there.
Thank you.
All right there. You have a big mess.
I'm also making a dog ear mess next to me. They're just flying all over my lap and everything.
Do you need the trash can?
No.
I can get you the trash can right here.
Nope, that's fine.
You could just do it on the table right here. Honey?
I got it. He just vacuumed this room on Friday because he vacuums on Fridays, and this room is already a disaster. You would never even know. It's like, really?
Every Friday it gets vacuumed, and every Friday it's dirty again.
Yep. Same day he vacuums, it's dirty. I grab my finger pressing tool to save on my fingernail.
Where you get that tool for there?
I got my tool from T over at Quilt. If you go to her YouTube channel or just tquilts.com, you can find all sorts of tools and gadgets. I don't know what she has available these days, but that's where I got it. It went with my seam ripper. saves on using your finger, especially today. I'm not feeling so good, so using my own fingers definitely does not feel very good. I don't know how many I'm gonna need because I only need 4 per. We'll cut 2 more up into 2.5-inch squares. Straighten that edge. Here we go. More. That's garbage.
I'm pretty much done with these. Do you want me to put them all in a pile somewhere else out of your way?
Let me just stack these so they stay nice.
Well, we have 4 more.
All right. Get the other side sewn onto these and then move on. I like just making things up, you know? I probably would have had enough to make more butterflies, but what would I have done with the last of all these squares, these triangle pieces, you know? So it's probably best that I'm using them the way I'm using them up.
Am I doing anything else now?
Nope.
Am I ironing some other pieces?
Nope. Well, I'll pass it to you when they're ready, but I have to still sew the other side on them.
Okay, so I'm leaving the iron on?
Yeah. Okay, another one of those. Set that aside. Come on, right there. Thank you. All right, other side. And it doesn't matter if I'm putting blue or browns on them. I'm just putting something on them. As long as it's not the same as a piece that's already on it. So that way it's all different and mixed up. At least for this stack. All right, separate and hand to Scott to open and press. Honestly, I kind of want to pre-press them back though, because he has a hard time with these smaller pieces. And they are on the small side.
It's a bitsy teeny weeny. Little polka dot pieces. So what am I ironing these?
Yep. I'm just pressing them so it's easier for you.
Oh, you scared I was gonna mess it up, huh?
Well, yeah, they're only so big. All right, there's the rest of them. Sorry, guys. I can't sit on my butt forever.
Someday we'll find you a chair.
Someday we'll find me a chair. I sat at one at Staples. I just gotta go there and sit in it some more just to make sure. You know, like a double bum check, you know, just in case. Got to make sure, because, you know.
You have your dog ears are in the middle of this.
Huh?
The dog ear pieces are in the middle of these.
Yeah.
Ironing them down. More for me to iron?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
No.
You need me to get you something while you're standing there?
Nope. Actually, you know what? Can you grab me an ibuprofen real quick?
Yeah. Do you have water?
No, I have water.
One, right?
Yep, just one. Thank you. I aggravated my tush sitting there. Sorry, guys. And now I'm going to aggravate my feet standing here. I usually swap feet though when I'm sewing standing. I don't just use one foot so that you're not standing on the one foot too long. For those that do or want to try to stand and sew, you just got to make sure you alternate your feet. So when you sit and sew, practice using both feet. That way you know. It's like driving a car. If you lost one leg, can you still drive with your other? Yes, I could, because I'm used to it. I could switch feet. But, you know, it's the same with the sewing machine. You got to train your foot to know how much pressure and when, just like a car. Put that on right? All right, opposite side. We're gonna have some yanking. Let's put this on the desk. And then These you can trim the dog ears off of. There's a pair of snips.
Hey, wait, I'm talking. Why do you finger press instead of using the iron directly?
Sometimes little pieces are best if you just finger press them before getting to the iron, because the pieces are smaller and you take more chances of burning your finger. But if you finger press it back prior to getting the iron, you take the chances of it not stretching by just folding it back at the iron. So, and we're trying to keep these from stretching because these are bias pieces. The outside edge is not, so that's making it perfect for these to be little square and square.
Scissors over here. Do you need
Oh,
this scissors?
yeah.
I
Just
have one
leave
right
those
here.
ones over there. Yep. Perfect. Thank you. I forgot that I put those over there. I try to have snips at every station. You never know when you're going to need some scissors or snips.
You want these back over there somewhere? I still have this pile here that you didn't get to.
Oh, I have to trim those. That's why I just haven't yet. I'm trying to get all these.
So I'm saying, do you
Done.
want this pile over
Yeah,
there? Should I
that's
leave that
fine.
here?
Just put it over here. It's fine.
I don't know what all you want. You got a lot going on.
This pile keeps falling. It's funny. Oh, that's the same as that. Gotta have a different one. I don't want 4 of the same pieces on it. I want different. Birds are out there making lots of bird sounds. It didn't get very hot here today.
So we got to open up doors and windows already.
Yeah. So we're working with the doors and windows open. And we learned something new. Thumper is not afraid to go outside anymore.
He didn't go outside. He went into the garage.
He went into the garage either way. He is not afraid to step out of the house. He went to the garage.
He didn't go outside. He went to the garage.
More than once now.
A big difference, him going in the garage and him going outside.
Yeah. Either way, he's now visited the garage. He used to never, ever, ever want to step foot outside. He'd sniff at a door or at a doorway, and then as soon as you come near it, he'll run back in the house all the way, like not be near the door. He never wanted to be at any edge, and then all of a sudden, now he's tempting it because it's nice and cool out. He's like, oh, look, this smells different. I should go out here. He's showing you my little blocks.
They wanted a close-up.
And they're all different, which is good because we're using these pieces up. See, so you can figure out, instead of using your cutoffs to make hourglasses or half square triangles, you can put 4 of them together, figure out what your size is going to be. And if it's cut off from 2.5-inch pieces or anything close to it, it's going to either be 2 to 2.5 inches of a square for your center. And you can just make hourglass blocks. Yes, Thumper watches the birds and the bunnies. He definitely likes through the patio door. Yeah, he likes the birds and the bunnies. Lately, we've been getting North American or northern Arizona not woodpeckers, mockingbirds. Oh, so I was outside testing how much they mock, and I opened up my phone. It turned on YouTube to mockingbird sounds and like parrot sounds and so on. Ones that don't talk, obviously. And then I turned the volume up way loud and press play. As soon as it started going, then I would turn the volume down real quick because the mockingbird that has been hanging out at our house would be copying it. It was fun playing with them, find a different sound of a different bird and then turn it on, and then the mockingbird would copy it. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, he's been hanging out between the palm tree in our neighbor's backyard and the top of the telephone pole that's in our backyard. And I'm like, that's just the 2 places he goes. He just sits and sings all sorts of 500 bazillion different sounds. I had to look up exactly what was the bird, because I knew it was some kind of mockingbird, though, because he was copying just me coughing sounds, you know. All right, now to sew the other side. Well, actually, no, I got to finger press all these real quick. Stack. This project's going to take a while. I am right now. Where's those pieces that you just trimmed?
Over here where you told me to leave them.
See? We'll put them on the wall. Okay, put it up then. Put it up then. Yes. Clips are in the same place as always.
I know that. There's a pillow up there. Did you know that?
Yes, that's my tester pillow.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. It's for testing the size of making certain size pillows. He's just going to hang the flag because he likes something in the background.
Wow.
He says it's too blah when there's nothing hanging on the wall. And it's going to be a while before I get anything remotely close to looking like a quilt with all of this. But I'm getting there.
Always good to be patriotic.
Yeah. I'm only making a few at a time because I don't know how many pieces I'm going to be able to get out of this. So I'm just cutting 1 or 2 things at a time. So I don't want to overcut. I don't know exactly what else I'm doing with all this. I probably could seal it off and go around it with the same center color. And then make it just a little bit bigger to whatever size the hourglass is trimmed to, and put 4 together and then see how big that turns into. And then I can make 2 different style blocks, cut up the other stuff into something. I make 4 patches. And then see. I really love having an extension table. It's probably one of my favorite things about having a machine that's, you know, a sewing and quilting machine is the fact that you can have an extension table with it. All right. Let's add side 2. Or side 3, technically, on all these. Come on, right there. So do you guys all sew up your scraps from projects, or do you donate them to people who like to sew scraps from like one single project? Do you sew them up right away, or do you get rid of them to somebody you know who will sew them? Kind of curious.
Or do you cut them in smaller pieces?
Or do
like
you cut
put
them in
a scrap
smaller
bin?
pieces and put them in the scrap bins like I do most times? But since all this matched, there was no sense in cutting it all up for the scrap bin because it all matches, goes together.
One person so far.
Somebody throws them away. That's one of those that can go over there.
Otherwise it piles up, she said.
Otherwise it piles up. Yeah, it probably does. Because mine does. So obviously yours does. Because I have boxes of it. I will eventually sew it all up. I have a problem with throwing away, though. I don't mind if you do, but I can't. My brain doesn't. It's like my whole being doesn't let me. And the things that I don't sew, I have donation boxes, and then people come and pick it up from my house. So at least goes somewhere when I can't use it. Somebody collects them under the sewing table, kind of like mine. It's overflowing. I'm hoping that me opening a box finally for the first time in a while and sewing stuff up will inspire you to get out there and do that too. Get some of these scraps sewn up so we have less boxes of stuff under our desks. I can't even pick mine up to show you guys how bad it is because it's just overflowing under there. It's like a giant tornado blew under the desk. And every time he vacuums, the vacuum, like an exhaust fan on the vacuums, if he gets close enough, it blows some of them up. And by the time he's done vacuuming and I come in here, there's like 5 or 6 of them on the floor. It's kind of funny.
Could you chop fabric up?
Could you chop fabric up and use it for stuffing? You could. There's only one problem with that. It's heavy. It will be heavy. Yep. If you go to my video where I made, what is it? That one's called an angel's hug, right? There's a video I made. It's called an angel's hug, and I made my grandma a quilt out of her, I can't say ex because it was her husband's clothes. And then
Because he passed.
the leftover clothes I chopped up and stuffed into a pillow. Just a, like, I don't know, maybe 16-inch pillow. And it was so heavy that I couldn't ship this to her because it was like shipping a sewing machine heavy. It was heavy. So instead, my mom hand delivered the quilt to my grandma and her pillow, which we called a hug. A hug. It was a hug. It was a pillow that you can hug because it was so weighty that it felt like somebody was hugging your chest or your lap or wherever you put it, you know? So just know if you're stuffing things, maybe you want to stuff like a door stopper. Fabric will work. You know, if you want to stuff like some kind of stuffed animal that a baby's going to play with, I would highly suggest don't stuffing it with fabric because the baby's not going to be able to pick it up. You know? So there's times when you can. If you're going to stuff like say a dog bed, there's yays and nays on that one, especially puppies. They're diggers. A lot of dogs are diggers, but puppies are diggers. And then they just fray the fabric that you made it with. And then all those little pieces are going to be out. And guess what? They're going to inhale and eat all those pieces.
And it's very hard to dry, one person said, if you
Yeah.
wash it.
Yeah. Plus, very hard to dry if you wash it for sure. But no, it will be. I mean, you can make it, but cats will just paw it out if they don't have claws. Like Thumper doesn't have claws, but if you have a cat with claws, it'll probably, depending on the cat, they might paw it out to create themselves a circle to lay in. But dogs, on the other hand, they'll make a mess of it, and that's why our humane society here, they don't take those fabric stuffed anything. They don't even want homemade dog beds. They want you to go to the store and buy one and then donate it to them. Which I could see, you know, because there's a lot of, you know, less staff, so less people would come and clean up the stuffing that the dogs trash, you know. So just beware. And do not throw any of that or your thread out for birds. They may make nests with it, but they also can kill themselves with it. Get tangled up in it, and then other animals get tangled up in it. Just throw it in the trash. Do not make, you know, whatever with it. Don't throw it outside as yarn balls for animals. That's not a good idea. Here, the birds actually make their nests out of palm. So they tear the palm trees. They take the leaf of a palm tree and they tear it and it strings. And then they take those strings and make their nests. Pretty cool to see their nests. Especially made out of palm. Because that's what we have here is palm trees. That one is that one. That one is not that one. Trying to make sure I have 4 different ones, you know. Here. That one. So that one could go on here. Not the same. Stand in a minute.
No help.
No. I mean, sort of yes, but not for continuous sitting. what I'm gonna do is start trimming some of those hourglasses. That way I'm not doing this because I need to stand. So I will. I'm gonna go press these real quick. And
I can't press them.
Can you do it without me finger pressing them first?
I would imagine. Why can't I?
You can, but I was just.
That way you can keep working on something else.
Yeah, I need to stand. That's why.
So do you want to iron then? Then you can come and iron.
I'm gonna stand and cut the hourglasses to a size since there's only so many of them.
Okay.
All right. Move all that out of my way.
I'm done cutting here. Want that?
Yep, I can just go right there for now. Thank you. All right, let's see how big these are gonna be. I don't know if I get them all to 2 1/4. Let's see. Yeah, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4. They are all looking to be about 2 1/4. I want a different. I'll just use this one. Let's see if I can't line that up.
Did you good?
Right.
There's 2.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
See, I can do it.
1/4, 2 1/4, right there. There. This might not be the best ruler to be doing this with. So I'll be making 4-inch squares out of these. Just trying to line all this up.
Don't use any batting.
I use any batting. Whatever's on sale, Scott buys. Whatever's the cheapest, he buys. He doesn't buy like super cheap stuff though. We stick with Hellon, Warm and Natural, or whatever's on sale, or what's that other one called? We do get this a lot. Quilter's Dream. That's the other one. So we kind of alternate between those.
Okay. They meant 100% cotton, 80/20.
Oh no, we use 100% cotton, 80/20, and polyester. We don't buy much bamboo because it's kind of expensive, but if somebody wants it in their quilt, they usually send it with their quilt. And we never use wool because nobody ever wants wool, especially where I live, and nobody that buys quilts from me ever wants wool either. So we don't use wool.
But you can.
But you can, yeah. It's not exactly quite nice, but we're going to pretend it is. This is not the right kind of ruler to trim these with. Let me grab something else real quick, guys. Ouch. When you sew these little leftover cutoffs together, they don't always come out very square. They're usually on the wonky side. So it's best to have a nice, good square ruler to do this with. Because I got to match up the corners, to line up. As long as I can get 2 1/4 out of everything. There.
You can do it.
It's not always a perfect thing. I have to retrim this side because it got off slightly right there. Never said it was going to be perfect. But I'm going to try to make it nice. Right there.
If you can do it.
I sure can do it. Get it done.
We
Oh, these could be pressed too. I forgot these. Just press these to the dark. I forgot that these were there. They're already sewn. They were in the thing.
Only got 2 more of your complicated ones.
I know I have a bunch more of those to sew, but I will do those off camera.
Set to the dark?
Yes.
Big one?
Yes.
Dark side.
This will take me a minute to get all these done.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not looking at questions. So.
Oh, well, then I will put them right there. Okay, we're just saying hello, doing great, blah, blah, blah. If you have questions, ask though. I can see. Sort of can see. I turn my head, but you know. Actually, I can just put it right there. Now I don't have to turn my head. Yeah, the reason why I chose to use this ruler is because this one has cross section, so I can line up the hourglass better. Because I have a line that goes across it, and then I have the points that I just line up at each juncture. So it gives me a better 2 1/4 inch square, where the points come exactly out to the points. Which helps, especially since you see to start, they're wonky, kind of crooked. So it helps to line it up properly. There.
So we get a bed from Walmart most of the time?
Most times we buy our bedding from Walmart. Those that were curious.
In a 30-yard roll.
Yeah, in the 30-yard rolls. We buy by the big roll. So if you don't have room for those big rolls, then I don't know what Walmart's prices are for certain battings of the single cuts, because we never look at that. We never buy single cuts anymore. We used to when I first started. Then I got a long arm and realized, why am I buying singular cuts and having so much leftovers when I can cut to the right size by buying a 30-yard roll? So it actually saves us money, and it saves me a headache of having way too many scraps from batting. Because in the beginning, I had so many batting scraps when I first started quilting, because I was buying by the singular size, you know. So,
and you wouldn't know the price because I'm the one that does all
and
the
I
buying.
wouldn't know the price anyway, because Scott's the one that takes care of all that. I don't pay attention to it all. I know it's in the $200 and something range for a giant roll. I don't know anything else. That point, perfect. Perfect, right there. This is taking me a minute to do. Whew. But that's okay. You guys don't mind watching me cut and sew and sew and cut and sew.
You want me to cut anything? I would much rather cut than stand over this hot iron when it's 80 degrees.
No, I got this because I'm doing a size that would not normally catch your brain. You know?
I'm gonna cut dog ears.
Oh no, there's no dog ears to cut off. You can cut them off of those.
Plug the iron yet?
Yep, you can unplug the iron when you're done. Because I'm not sewing now, I'm cutting.
Good. Well, you only have half an hour left. I'll figure. Last half hour, we don't need that iron on.
I will work most of the rest of this stuff off camera because there's going to be a lot of trimming and cutting, and I will figure whatever out. And there's probably still going to be more to do next week because I doubt I'll get it done in all 1 week. I do have some long arming stuff I have to do.
How do you store a large roll of batting?
How do I store a large roll of batting? We keep them in the bag that the batting comes in, and it goes in the garage. Our garage stays closed, but it does get dusty. We don't really get many bugs in it, but we do get dust because of where we live. So we keep it in the giant roll in the bag, and it stays in the garage. And then every time I need batting, Scott and I go outside. He pulls it out of the giant roll. I cut out what I need with a measuring tape and my batting snips, sears, whatever you want to call those things, and then bring it inside, and he rebags up the batting and sticks it up. I've always wanted to build like a thing on the wall to put the rolls up on the wall on a spinny thing, and then have a table in front of it to just pull down and measure out and then cut. But we do have room for it now because our garage is clean, but in the past we didn't. But I don't know what it would take to build a batting rack, you know. It might cost more than it's even worth. We should just leave them stacked against the wall.
How often do you change your blade?
I change my blade when it doesn't want to cut, which would be probably the last couple days of using it. But I do have a new mat. I just got me a new mat. Scott got me a new mat.
You a new mat.
Same thing.
You didn't get it.
And so I need to change my mat out. When I change my mat out, when I clean my room, because I need to clean my room, then I will change my blade also. So that way I have a fresh blade on a fresh new mat. Because I go through cutting mats. And then this cutting mat will, because it's already been used on both sides, will go into my fabric room, which definitely needs a new mat. Because that one is, yeah. That one is a mess of so many cuts, because I cut so much more fabric in there than I do in here now. But that one just gets the leftover mat from in here. So I reuse. Just like right here, I have a little 24-inch by 18-inch mat that stays on this side, so that when people come over and sew with me, they can sew on that side and have a cutting mat. Obviously, all my junk is right there, but it's not super junk. It's mints when I need a mint, or I got some books over there, and you know, all sorts of tools, bobbin cases.
It's Tiffany junk.
It's my junk. I recently got a comment on my channel that says, "That's such a mess in your background." It looks cleaned up to me. It always looks like this. I'm like, really?
Person that complained about Thumper.
Yeah, it was the same person that complained about Thumper.
The heck with that.
I don't need to come on and watch a little cat. Of course he's cute, but I don't need to see that. Whatever. Obviously, I didn't comment back. Everybody has something to complain about. Yeah, I think I keep my area pretty clean for being consistently on videos and making quilts on and off camera. Yeah, I think I'm pretty organized.
Well, this is your job all day, every day.
I mean, since it's my job, I don't know how much cleaner can it be. Yeah, exactly.
It's used.
It's a used space. I'm not what is the word for it? Yeah, not that. I'm not super OCD when it comes to filming. I'm not a stage presence, so my area doesn't need to be clean, you know? There's a word for that. I'm not trying to
Stage?
Yeah, I'm not trying to stage me. You guys want this is real life. Your desk has crap on it too. It's not just mine. And the ones who don't, it's because they have to clean it up and put it away after sewing because they sew on their kitchen table. And there's nothing wrong with that because guess what? I did that too until all my children moved out and became an empty nester. And then I didn't have to sew in all these different places. Like, used to sew in my garage before I sewed even in the house. That was hard to do because it was hot out there. I could only sew when it was nighttime in the middle of the night or when it was cooler. Not in the summer.
My batting roll is Pellon brand, and we get the 108 by 30 yards.
The Pellon roll that we have, or the brand that we have right now, is Pellon. It's an amazing batting, by the way. And it's 30 yards of a 108. No, we get 120 inch.
I'm sorry, yeah,
it's 120 inch
120,
by
sorry.
30 yard roll. That's what we get.
We get the biggest one they get.
Yeah, we get the biggest one they get because clients that send me quilts send them of all sizes. And my own personal quilts are always big. So anything that I ever make is big. So I do 120 inch. The excess makes table runners and things like that. Yeah. Wall hangings and table runners mainly from the excess. Because usually I'll have about 20, depending on how big their quilt is. If they sent me a king size quilt, that's why people send me quilts though, because I have a 12-inch or 12-foot frame, so I can fit, comfortably like 120 inches very nicely on my frame. So.
Tell them yes, it comes on a cardboard roll.
Yep, and it comes. Oh yeah, on a cardboard tube. The roll. It's not folded on like a bolt thing, which that would be hard to get 30 yards on that.
No, it's rolled around a thing like
it's rolled
Christmas paper.
It's rolled on a thing like you'd get Christmas paper or wrapping paper. It's like a wrapping paper thing, but thick and heavy duty. It's a lot easier, I think, now that we do it by the roll and have been for years.
Yeah, we've been doing it like that for so long. I don't remember us not doing it like that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
It's been a long time since we haven't done it by the roll. And like I said, some clients, they do want different kinds of batting, so they send me their prepackaged stuff. Or they have cut something off from their own or what was left over from something, you know. Just depends on what they send me, of course. Oh man, this one's way wonky. That's okay. I'm gonna make it work, wonky or not. It's gonna get sewn in. Ooh, that's so funky. Oh my goodness, 3 more to cut? Woohoo! I'm gonna down to the bottom of this stack. And now I'm wondering if there's an equal amount so that I can sew them together into 4 patches. I'm gonna have to count and see if there's an equal amount. There should be. If there was an equal amount of pieces from the original quilt, there should be an equal amount left. You know? Because I think I made 12 blocks on that. Or no. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 butterfly blocks, I think, on that butterfly quilt. So there should be. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Not, I will substitute this with 2.5-inch squares from all this other stuff. I mean, 2 1/4 inch. Oh, that's even better idea, Tiffany. See? Whew. Doesn't have to be. I'm just gonna keep changing my mind anyway. You know? All right. These are all now 2 1/4 inch. That means, oh, you have it. Can I borrow that for 2 seconds?
Oh, yeah, I'm done. That was my last piece. Oh, yeah, look at that. Perfect timing.
All right. So I have 2 1/4 inch hourglasses. Then I have 3. These don't need to be trimmed because these are already the right size. How big did they come out? Oops. That's the halves. That's the holes. Woo-wee. I think about my Quilter Select. So 3 1/4 inch. So these are 2 1/4. These are 3 1/4. I'm going to check another one. Yep, 3 1/4. So these are 3 1/4 inch square inner squares. These are 2 1/4 inch hourglasses. My leftover pieces are 2 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do is take the 2 1/2 inch and cut. Actually, no. I could take one of these fabrics from my fat quarters, cut. No, even better. Take the leftovers from all this, what's left over, get the rest of these done, these specific square and squares with the rest of this, because they're strips. And then I have these bigger chunks left over from the border. I can cut these into 2 1/4 inch strips, then pair them with this as a 4 patch. That will make a 4 inch, and then I can go around these with an 1.25 inch. That way, no. Yeah, that way this and then these will be 4-inch blocks. Woohoo! Okay, so we're going to make everything into 4-inch unfinished blocks. And then we'll do the same with these, all this stuff. And then, yeah, that'll be cool. We'll make something. So I got to figure out how much I need more of this, and then I'll cut the rest up. Obviously, I'm only doing one strip at a time so that I don't, you know, run out. But yeah, that's better than using this, because then I can use these fat quarters towards borders because they're unused, right? All right, where's my 2 1/2 inchy thing? There it is. We will cut some more 2 1/2, and I'll start on these, but I'm literally done for the day. Because now my legs are tired from standing and I still have a stomach ache. So this way I don't overcut.
All that good food you ate yesterday, and then all them cookies you ate last night.
I only ate 2 cookies last night.
But they were
Thank
big.
you very much. They were
like that big.
They equal 4 cookies,
They
but
were
still.
that big.
Yeah, we got cookies that were like this big around. They were nice big size cookies. And I do love me a chocolate chip cookie. And they were nice and soft, like perfect, you know. All right, anything else?
When are you making a long arm video?
You guys ask me this a lot. The truth about long arm videos. I make long arm videos when I feel like making a long arm video. Sometimes I attach the long arming to an open gate video, and then sometimes I film the whole long arming whatever and make a nice musically sound video. And it's very rare that I talk in a long arm video. Reason: a lot of you want to see them, but nobody watches them. If you go on my channel to videos, the video section, and look and find all the long arming ones, you'll notice they all have less than 2,000 views. So Sunday, we'll get like in total in the next 2 months, like almost 6,000 views or more. There's a big difference. And then any filmed video, those go where however they go, but they're always more than 5,000 in the end, you know? Long arming is only for those who have a long arm. You think. But in reality, free motion quilters can do anything that my long arming quilting videos do. So anything I do on the long arm, you can do sit down. And there's a trick to it. You turn your long arm video that you're watching of mine on your phone on, okay? While you're watching, because my camera moves with the machine, right? So over the fabric. To secretly fix that, to learn how to do your little motions here, turn the video on, hold it like this, and pretend like if you're pushing your fabric, move it. Move the phone with the motion of my video as my needle is moving. Get used to those motions so that when you have your fabric under your needle here, you have already saw those motions. Get where I'm going? And then obviously you have to stop here when your hands get so far and then move on. but those motions are still there because while you're watching the video, this is what I started doing early on. You know, I would turn on somebody's computerized long arming video where they have the computer running it. I don't find any, you know, these days there's not very many anymore, but, and I would just watch and move my hands. For regular long arming, since you hold your hands this way, put the video on, move it around as the needle moves. And you can learn all the bumps, the bump back feathers. You can learn flowers. You can learn anything. That is the reason why I started posting long arm videos, because I had saw them and I was like, oh, you can learn to do it. I learned to do it because I found myself moving my phone with the movement of the machine. I taught myself how to quilt, you know, and I just kind of randomly from then on, I don't do that anymore because I don't need to. I kind of just know how to quilt. So it just comes to me. But back in the beginning, I'd turn on a long arm video when I was starting to learn and go, and then my brain just naturally started moving the phone. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I get to the long arm and I knew what to do. It was smart, genius. And if you're doing sit down, same thing. Just move it more in a hold your hands like as if you're sitting down while you're holding the device, watching the video. Smart, right? It helped me. Maybe it'll help you. And I'm beyond my own learning. Like in 8 years, I can quilt for shows now. And I can do a small little lap quilt in less than an hour because I just know what to do, you know? My motions come naturally. Everything just comes out because I taught myself. But I did start free motion quilting in the beginning. And guess what? Same thing. When I watched people do it in the video, I managed to move. Like I watched Angela Walters' videos a lot in the beginning. Even though her camera was steady in one spot watching it, and you just watch her hand motions, I was turning the video on, laying it, you know, the device there on the table, and then just moving my hands as she's moving hers, you know, to learn how to do it. All sorts of things you can do in real life to learn from the videos, you know, especially long arm quilting. But that's why I don't make long arm quilting videos. They just come when they come. You get a video when I feel like filming something. It's just because nobody watches them. And I'm sorry, you know, but I have tons of videos on there if you want to watch all of them. There's a playlist with lots of videos of long arm quilting, lots of different designs. I tried not to do too many repeat designs in all the videos that I've filmed. There's even ideas you can get from custom quilting, which you could use those ideas and sit down as well. So it just depends on how you want to look at how the video came to you, you know. So if you want to watch them, they're there. And every now and then I'll post a new one, but it's rare.
Do you know when they're going to be told how much fabric they need for the cruise?
Do I know when the cruise fabric and stuff is going to be announced? No.
I said we know less than they do about the cruise.
I know less than you know.
That's what my answer was.
I have meetings with them every month, but it's just to see if there's questions, make sure that this is going, make sure that is going, you know. I do know, I think it's next, is it May? Maybe?
What?
June? May? Where we're supposed to have a live Zoom meeting with all the people going on the cruise.
I know the Zoom meeting date.
I don't know when it is, and it will probably come in an email to you. So just pay attention to your emails because I'm pretty sure to be announced there. So if you are going on the cruise, that's the best way, is to pay attention to your email because that's probably the only way you're going to know. Yeah. That's it. That's all I got. I don't know much else.
Well, the email would open. I could tell the Zoom meeting date. It's not open.
Oh, there's a bunch of those sitting just right here. Get these sewn on.
Monday, May 4th.
Monday, May 4th. That's the everybody one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Guest Q&A.
Yep, the first guest Q&A Zoom meeting is Monday, May 4th. I don't know what time because everybody's time zone is different. But just check your email and then you can ask the questions then. I know the pattern But for the cruise, I don't have my fabric or it made or anything yet. So I'm just as backed up as you guys on knowing what's what and what. I don't know. I know what it is because Ian and Becca are my friends. That's as far as it goes. I haven't had a chance to do anything about it though. Because I have a lot going on. Yep, I am. Let me put a new bobbin in before I forget, because if I step away from this project now without one in, I'm going to be mad at myself when I come back to the machine and there's no bobbin in the case. You're like, what the heck was I thinking? I'm going to get this last piece sewn on there too, that way I just come back to it and it'll be fine. So that's what I will be doing off camera, is the rest of these until all this is used up, which is making the square and a square, which I don't have to trim because those are all the right size. And that's what I'll do off camera. And then I probably might go ahead and trim the other fabric that was my border on the original quilt and turn those into 4 patches, and then go around these with the 1.5 or 1.25 inches, I think I said, to make it all of this 4 inches. Make everything I'm doing to 4-inch size. So that's what I'll do off camera. All right, guys. Thank you all for hanging out. This week, what do we have this week? What is this week?
Video.
There is a new video coming out on Thursday this week. No, it's not Breakfast at Tiffany's, but there was an extra week between Breakfast at Tiffany's, so you guys get a video to make up for it, because I had time to film a video. I designed something new. Hopefully you love it, and I'm pretty sure you're going to want to make it. That's my own assessment. So there'll be a new video coming out. Actually, Karen, I'm going to message you tomorrow, because that way I can have that done in time too. All right, and that way you guys can have a PDF for it as well. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got. No other questions. I'm going to get going and go do whatever. Is it purple? No, but it's fun. You guys will like it.
You can make it whatever color you want.
You can make it whatever color you want. Just saying that in advance. Anyway, see you guys all later. TTYN. Talk to you later now. I don't know. Whatever. TTFN. Yeah. Bye.